Hi,
you.
of course.
Amaya.
Amaya, yes.
Thank you.
Cell phone charger back there if you need one.
Sorry?
Cell phone charger back there if you need one.
Oh, I'm perfect. Thanks.
All right, no problem. You've been avoiding all the smoke coming from Canada?
I mean, so I flew in from DC today.
Ooh, okay.
So I had the smoke, I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was really bad over
3
there.
weeks ago, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I felt it today, but after there, you could like smell. It just felt like really, really bad.
Sure, yeah. I saw pictures. It was like really orange and like really
that's how it was. Yeah, it was like very, very awful.
So here it's less, not so bad.
Yeah, I'm also originally from Mexico City, which
Okay.
has like a big pollution problem.
That's true. There,
So I also feel like, I don't know, my lungs are used to not having a lot of clean air, which is sad but true.
No, I get that. That makes sense. So what brought you to Chicago from DC?
I work here, so I fly in every 2 to 3 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and then work from here, and then work from home when I'm not here.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm moving back here, so I was actually looking at an apartment right now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how long have you been in the U.S. from Mexico City?
3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I moved here 3 years ago. It was the middle of the pandemic, actually, 2020.
Ah.
Yeah, so I've seen like Chicago in different faces.
Right. Yeah. It's still waking up. It's still not back totally yet.
No, that's what I've heard. I feel like I was just talking to someone right now about how the pandemic and everything has affected the cities, and because she lived in San Francisco.
Ah, yeah.
And she was like, just the situation there is so sad now.
Oh, yeah.
I was there 2 years ago, so it was 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And it was awful. Like,
Oh, yeah.
super depressing and just like...
San Francisco changed a lot too. I grew up out there, about like 40 minutes north. So I lived in San Francisco for a while. Actually, I was actually there in April of this year, and so it really has a much different vibe. And the pandemic really hurt it even more. It killed the last of what was left of the artist city that it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was there 2018,
Mm-hmm.
and I still liked it a lot.
We were there at the same time then.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I moved here in 2018.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. And then my parents love San Francisco. They try and go every time they can.
Yeah.
And then after I was there 2 years ago, I told them like, well, I don't know, maybe you want to go back just to like know how it is right now, but I would say it's not the San Francisco you love.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah, I grew up out there, and then I moved to LA, and then here, and then back. I was in the Bay Area, and then moved from San Jose to here in 2018. But I was all over out there, and it's you just see it very much change as kind of the techie companies kind of took up more and more and more of the city. It became less of what it used to be, what people knew it for. Because it used to be very artsy, very culture. There was just a ton of art scene just everywhere you'd go, and a lot of that, the heart of that, is really not there anymore.
No, yeah, that's how it felt like.
Yeah.
We were also there it was bad timing for us because it was still, things were not quite reopened.
Mm-hmm.
It took longer for them to reopen after the pandemic, so I mean, I definitely want to go back. It was my first time. It was my husband's first time there.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just like, I don't know, built it up so much.
Sure.
That he was so disappointed.
Oh no, poor guy.
So I really want to take him back at some point for him to like, because not even like the cable cars were not running.
Oh yeah, okay.
So he didn't even get to see that.
Gosh,
you know?
yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's definitely still. I always say, go to Land's End, Pacific Heights. The right where the beach is part of San Francisco, Golden Gate Park. All of that's still there. It's an amazing time. It's
I mean, that's what I told him. Like, we actually, I'm a huge biker, and so we biked, like, all the way to Sausalito, and then like took the ferry back, And that's why I told him, like, I mean, yeah, the city is not what it was.
Mhm.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But look at, like, all these other amazing things you can do around the area, like biking.
Yeah. Yeah, the redwoods and exactly that. Yeah, Sausalito is amazing. And yeah, Novato, San Rafael, all those areas are really great.
Yep.
Yeah, San Francisco's different, but the Bay Area is still the Bay Area, and there's a lot to do. So it's definitely worth visiting. What do you do for work?
I work in an asset management firm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in sustainable investing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you're working to fight this smoke actively,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sad that this smoke is happening, but I'm also like, maybe this will make people take action faster.
Hopefully.
That's what they said. Like, I was just reading an article, I think it was yesterday, about how this environmentalists are like happy these things are happening because the faster the climate starts to like become so erratic,
Yeah.
the faster people will actually believe that you need to like take action now.
Yeah, the more undeniable it really will be.
Yeah. And I mean the wildfires, and Mexico City has been in this like terrible heat wave for the past 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
But like terrible, there's no more like water's completely like the drought in Mexico is terrible.
Oh no.
So once people start to see the issues like in their day-to-day, that's when they'll realize. Because sometimes before it was just so far away that I don't think people realized like the effect of climate change.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because it was easy to deny. Oh, it's not that bad, and then you have people say, oh, well, you know, the Earth was warmer when the dinosaurs were here. It's not that big a deal.
Exactly, and it's like now that people see that it's going to take adjustments of what we've been used to living for the past, I don't know, 100 years.
Right.
That's when I think we will do something.
Sure.
It's like, for example, water management. Mexico City has always had this water issue, so I've always been very conscious of water use. And then when I moved here, I realized like people here are not.
No.
It's just like I thought that's how the world moved, like not using like I don't know, taking tops a 5-minute shower, or you know, closing the faucet while you're cleaning the dishes, or like all these things, or like
brushing your teeth and all that stuff, right?
Your teeth and just turning off the faucet while you're brushing your teeth, and then just opening up, and all those things that we were taught when we were in kindergarten, like with songs.
Yeah.
And realizing that it's not a worldwide issue now. So it's like, oh, so once people here start suffering, that they will learn after.
Right.
Yeah.
If potentially, hopefully, yeah, and that's a big if that's what happens. Yeah, I didn't know Mexico City had a water crisis. All I knew about water was my daughter got an axolotl from there. And they said that like they built the city over the only lake that the axolotls are from.
Yep.
And now there's no axolotls in the wild because probably that lake dried up, I'm assuming. Went away.
Exactly.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean the lake dried up. That was like, I don't know, 1400s when they built the city.
Oh
like,
wow, okay.
The issue is like it's water, it's like marsh. I don't know what the kind of land is. So the city is actually sinking.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. But like taking all of that in like outside of the situation, it's an amazing city.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I'm Mexican. I love like anything Mexico. My family's from Jalisco, but like I absolutely want to go see Mexico City just because I know it's a mega city. I know the pollution is bad, but I also know the architecture is really unique and very futuristic in Art Deco. They do a lot of sci-fi movies out there. Yeah, and I just think that's so cool. I absolutely just want to see it. And then I know one of the things that they're doing to fight the climate is they're adding more greenery to the the underpasses on the side of the city.
Yeah, there's underpasses. Like there's this 2 floors. and they're putting like all this green stuff on the bottom floor.
That's awesome. Yeah, see, and I want to see stuff like that. I think that's great. And I think I mean, we can do that everywhere. Just because we as people grow and need cities and create cities, we can also add nature to that.
That is true.
Yeah.
And people are happier when they see green.
Yeah, it's right. There's a reason for it, but it is. It
Exactly.
fights depression. Absolutely. Yeah, I came from California where it's always green all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then so here in Chicago, as I'm sure you know, it gets very gray
It does.
for so
It does.
long. So what I do, I have an indoor hydroponic garden,
Nice.
and then I got these just vines that I don't have to water them. They're just always they're plastic, but they're green. Your brain doesn't know.
yeah, exactly. So,
I'm
you
just-
just see the greenery.
Yeah,
That is
that's-
true.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
Yeah, the winters are tough here. That's
Mhm.
for sure.
Yeah.
Long.
They never end. They never
No.
end. No.
But then when summer gets here, I mean, it's the most amazing city.
Exactly. It really comes alive. It really does. From like May until October, and then
It does.
and then it's
Yeah.
done. Yeah, it's really amazing. How did you adjust? What were some of the things that surprised you when you came here from Mexico?
So we moved. It was late October. It was early November.
Mm-hmm.
So we literally had like 1 week of acceptable weather, and then it just became this terrible, terrible winter.
And if it was 2018, it was the polar vortex. I remember. I was here for that too. It was bad.
It was
oh
bad.
my gosh,
It was
bad.
very bad.
Yeah.
We got married and moved here,
Mhm.
so I feel like we were in this honeymoon period where
Mm,
I don't know, everything felt good. So
sure.
I don't remember it as being like an awful way. I mean, Mexico City doesn't have seasons for whatever that's good or bad.
Oh, really? Is it just always hot all year round?
Yeah, exactly. It's always hot. So,
Okay.
I mean, not hot. It's just like the perfect weather all year round. Because you just get like, I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, like maybe 70s?
Sure. I might have to
Throughout-
move. All right, I'm definitely moving to Mexico
Yeah,
City.
throughout
Yeah.
the year. It rains in the summer though, like this
Okay.
big
Oh.
summer rains, but
Mhm.
then for like an hour and then it stops and the sun comes out again.
Oh wow. Okay. I'll take that. That's fine.
So coming here and having like, oh, there's winter and there's snow, that's really nice.
Sure.
It got tough around April when it kept snowing and it kept being cold, and it's like, but it's spring somewhere. Like,
Yes.
why is it not spring here?
Yes, and then May, and then June,
And then
it's
May
still
it was
snowing.
still like
Yeah.
raining and cold, and then
Yeah.
but then when like late June, summer started and like the beaches were opened, and
Yeah.
that was like, wow. Now I know why there's a city here.
Exactly.
Before that, I was just like, why would people live here?
I've said exactly that so many times. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, then it just becomes like alive, and the patios are open, and
Mhm.
restaurants and all of that.
Yeah. And it is really nice, so that's good. How did you meet your husband?
We met at school. We are both lawyers, so law school.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. Does he work in law practice currently?
He does, yeah. He was working at a law firm focused in infrastructure and project finance.
Mm-hmm.
But the job he got here is actually in a consultancy that looks into climate change.
Oh, that's great.
So
Okay.
we're both in that now.
Yeah, environmental focused space. That's great.
Yeah.
We definitely
Sometimes
need it.
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes a bit, I don't know, sad when you're like, well, we change, well, we all need to
Right.
be better.
Yeah. You realize the vastness of what actually needs to be done. It's almost
Exactly.
insurmountable.
And so if you start just like going down that path of like, it just becomes bad, because then you're just like, we'll never fix this, and
Right.
it's just, so you just need to stay positive.
Yeah, that's very true. That's really it. That's all you can. And do the little incremental. It's like, because it can be overwhelming. It can be disheartening. You can say it's impossible, but
Exactly.
right. But you still have to. You have to keep going, even if it's that little bit better, that little increment here and there.
That is true.
Yeah. So, what are some things you look for, like for asset management, ethical investing? What are some things that you like to put your energy into?
So,
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely the part I like the most. Just like all of this issues, you know, like climate change is affecting emerging markets the most.
Sure.
Because of literally geography. Most of these emerging markets are in the equator, and these are the countries that are getting the worst. Like, you know, India with the heat waves,
Yeah.
Mexico, water, deforestation in Brazil, like, and then, like, you know, there's this argument that developed countries got to their current stage of development and GDP growth and everything
Right.
by finishing resources and just
Right.
like by going through resources without this consciousness of
Yeah.
climate change and just resource availability.
Right.
So emerging markets are always trying to push back and like, now you're trying to limit the use of fossil fuels, for example, or carbon or like coal, and that's just like, and they say like it's not fair that now I have to.
Right. The U.S. didn't. Why should we?
Like the U.S. or Europe,
Mhm.
like they were built by using coal,
Right.
and
Yeah.
now you're cutting India's possibility of using
Yeah.
coal to grow its economy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's this huge, like, apparently like developed countries are gonna help subsidize the energy transition, but I don't think that's gonna happen. And then what's gonna happen is just that these emerging markets will keep on being poor, and just developed countries will keep on being developed, which is tough but true.
Yeah, and that creates an economic disparity.
Exactly, that's always been there, and in order to like, and there's not going to be development if there's not a subsidize to these economies that will not be able to use up resources to grow
Right.
as developed countries do. So I think that's the thing that I'm more interested in, and just like, how can there be equity around the energy transition? Because also like Europe and all this like rich countries talk about like, oh, let's use clean energy, but the people in the countries, like in poor countries, can't afford more expensive energy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of like overlooking, like, it's true the environmental side is it's a big issue,
Right.
but then sometimes we overlook the social part, which is people living in these countries that will not be able to heat their homes or cool them because energy is too expensive.
Yeah. No, and I actually was having a conversation with somebody about that was helping people with appliances, because it's the same thing. We can make things more economic, sure, but if they can't afford a new stove to be electric range instead of gas, because a new stove is $600 and they don't have $600,
Exactly.
you can't do it. And that seems like the same issue that's happening in these other countries.
Exactly. That's
They just
the
don't have
issue.
it. Yeah. And so we have to create that equality of money. We have to
Yeah, it's like
make that happen.
subsidizing
Yeah.
the cost of clean energy until there's a parity between clean and fossil fuel based.
Yeah, it makes sense. I hope we get there. And
Yeah, me too.
I think I'm glad you're working on it, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah, let's see if it gets me somewhere
Yeah,
for the world at least.
definitely.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes, it was
Have a
great
nice
chatting. You
evening.
too. Thank you.